Hello and welcome back, or welcome to Miss Finance if this is your first time on the channel. So today we're going to have a look over some Excel basics. So if you've never used Excel before, this course will be very suitable to you. And I've done this in a way that it's specific to finance, but that anybody could use that if they're new to Excel. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is write out a statement of profit and loss. Now I've put this onto cell A2. Now if I'd have made it an error and I actually wanted to move that to cell A1, all I need to do is to hit Control and X, which is cut, which is a shortcut in Excel. So that's Control and X on my keyboard, and then click into cell A1, and then if I was to hit Control and V, that would paste that information in there, just like that. So I might want to actually format this sheet. So I might decide that I actually want the statement of profit and loss to be in bold. So there's two ways I can do this. I can either select the cell and hit Control B, which would make it bold, as you can see, or I can actually use the function in the ribbon to select B, as long as I've got that text or that cell selected. And I can turn that on and off simply by either clicking on that button there or hitting Control and B. I can also actually make that underlined if I wish, and again I can do that by either clicking Control U, or I can hit that U with an underline in the ribbon. I could make this italic if I want as well by hitting the I or doing Control I, but I just want this to be bold and underlined for now. So next I'm going to put the date in, which is the year ended the 31st of March 2020. Now if I was using a lot of data and I didn't want to have to then format that line individually on its own, I could actually copy the format that's already in cell A1. So I can click on cell A1 and I can click on Format Paint in the ribbon and then select cell A2, and that would make that formatted exactly the same way as A1. So next I'm going to put in the year. So we want this year, which would be 2020, and we also want 2019. So again, because I don't want to individually format this, I'm just going to click on cell A2, click on Format Painter in the ribbon, and then select that year in 2020 in cells E4 and E5. But if you look there, you can see that that's not correctly formatted now. So I've got year to the left and 2020 to the right. So I want these to be formatted together. I want them to look nice. So if I go back to the ribbon, as long as I've got those items selected, I can then decide if I want those in the middle, if I want them to the left, or if I want them to the right. So if you can see the ribbon there, I've now selected them to be in the centre, so they will show as being in the centre. So I'm now going to copy this year text into cell G4, and I can do that by selecting on E4, hitting copy in the ribbon, selecting G4, but there is another way. So if I actually select the year and then I hit Control C, which is copy, it's a shortcut in Excel, and then I select cell G4 and hit Control V, that will then paste that information into G4 for me, as you can see here. Next, there is a very easy way of editing dates and numbers inside of Excel. So I want the year 2019, which is one figure less than 2020. So if I actually type into my formula equals cell E5 minus 1, that will give me 2019 or 2019. So if you watch the formula bar, you'll see this. And I'm just going to format that in the same way as clicking on E5, clicking on Format Paint, and then G5. So I'm just going to type out revenue, cost of sales, gross profit margin, and then here I'm going to have a few admin expenses, so stationery, telephone cost, and then staff costs. I'm going to have a total box for total admin, and then I'm going to have a box for my overall operating profit. So I'm just going to add a couple of pound signs above here just to make this a little bit more of a report template, and I'm going to start adding figures in. So we have 100k for revenue. In cell G7, I could quite easily copy the revenue that's in E7 by just typing into my formula bar equals E7, and that'll give me the same figure. I'm going to give different figures to cost of sales. Now, gross margin is the sum of revenue less cost of sales. So there's two ways I can do this. I can either use the ribbon bar and at the top select auto sum, which I'll show you here, and that will sum that for me. Or the other way, there is another shortcut on your keyboard. So if you select Alt equals on your keyboard, that will sum the figures above for you very quickly. So there's two different ways. And if I wanted to format that box to make sure everybody knew that that was a total box, then I can use the different formatting in the ribbon, as you can see just there. So let's type in some figures for admin expenses. And again, I can do the same thing as before. I can either use auto sum to total up those admin expenses, or I can use alt equals on my keyboard. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy the format as I did before, using the format painter in the ribbon to make my total boxes nice to look at. So next I'm going to work out my operating profit, which is my gross margin less the rest of my admin expenses, and I'm going to format that total box as well. Now I don't have to work this out for 2019 because I've already done that for 2020, so all I actually need to do is copy the formula that's in E18 into G18 and it'll work out 2019s for me also. So let's add in some tax. So again with formulas, what you can do is select a cell and tell Excel to multiply it by a certain amount. So if I want to multiply by 20%, I'm going to take a number and times it by 0.2, and that'll give me my tax figure. So here I'm going to take E18, so I'm going to go equals E18 times by 0.2, and that'll be the tax. And then after that, I can then copy that into cell G20, and it'll work out the tax for me. This is going to be useful if you've got a lot of data and you need to work out multiple years worth of tax, for instance. Now if you ever make an error or you've copied something into a cell that you didn't want, all you need to do is hit escape and that will take you out of that, or you can hit the little arrow button at the top of the screen, the little left arrow, to undo, or you can actually hit Control U on your keyboard. So next we have net profit after tax. So again, I can either auto sum this and format, or I can use alt equals, or I can just copy what's in E22 into G22 and it will formulate that for me. Now what if I wanted to actually format my cells? So if I didn't like the look of this and I wanted, say, all of my negative figures to show in a red, or I wanted the negative figures to show in a red and in a brackets box to show that they are being taken off, then all I need to do is select the data, right click, go down to format cells, and here you've got numerous options, so you can hit general, number, accounting, whatever you like, and they've got some standard formats. But if you want to have it where your brackets are around negative figures and red, then we need to customize it. So it's very simple to do. So this is just an example of a type of custom, and there you go, you can see it in red. Now to get this into brackets, all I need to do is put a little bracket sign at the very end of the formula, and there we have it. So you can use the buttons in the ribbon to either increase or decrease the amount of decimals shown, as simple as that. And I'll just show you this again, but with numbers that are not rounded. Now there's something that you can do where you can actually round figures, so you can either round them to a decimal place, round them up, or round them down. So if I wanted to round cell I7, all I need to do is type equals round, open brackets, select that cell, and then decide the number of decimals that I wanted to round to. So you can see that if I just change that digits number at the very end, the figure changes slightly. You can see it's getting rounded. So once I've found the rounding that I want, I'm going to copy that down. Now if I want to copy that into cell 07, all I need to do is select the entire formula in the formula bar there, go to cell 07, paste it, but as you can see here, it's actually picking up cell I7, whereas I want column O to pick up column K. So all I need to do is move that cell, move the highlighted cell into K, as simple as this, and then I can copy that formula all the way down. Now if I wanted to, I can change all of the colour of the text shown using the ribbon button by selecting that A with the colour on, and that'll change, for instance, the colour to red, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to undo it. Or I can select a different colour if I wish to, but I don't wish to do that. So instead I'm going to change the background colour, and that's with the little bucket sign and the colour So I can select whichever colour that I'd like. So I'm just going to select this grey for now. And then I'm going to select yellow for columns I to K, and I'm just going to copy columns I to K into Q and S. So another thing you can do when you're doing income statements or any kind of forecast information or just working with numbers in general is you can divide the numbers by a set value to give you a rounded figure also. So if I wanted to just show figures to the nearest 1,000, I can take what's in column I and divide by 1,000, and I can just copy that all the way down, and then I can amend columns S to pick up column K and just do that again all the way down. So you can see that the figures are ever so slightly different after you've done this. Next, if I want to, I can select round up. So if I type up after the round and then just amended the number of digits that I wanted to show here, you can see that that's changed to 101. So again, I can copy that down and do the same again for S. So that's with rounding up. So if I did this again, but did it rounding down, you'll see that the figures change again ever so slightly. There you have it. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, as always, please do consider subscribing and do hit the like button because it does help the YouTube algorithm. It helps more people to see the video. Otherwise, I'll be creating more videos like this, and I shall see you on the next video.